So we're highlighting. We are doing 5 basic sections. Okay, so I've left out my crown area as my 5th section, and then my right and left and my front and back quadrants. I'm gonna start in the back quadrant because I want to give it the most time, because it's gonna take me a while to foil her whole head. So I can, when I'm finished with everything, I can rinse this off first, and it's easy to rinse off in the shampoo bowl, okay? All right. I'm gonna take diagonal back sections. You can take horizontal, but it's gonna grow out really quickly, and you're gonna see that new growth line of demarcation a lot faster than if I take diagonal backs. Okay, so I'm gonna take a diagonal back section. I'm gonna start at the top of the ear and come into my center part at a 45-degree angle. Okay, so make sure that you are actually coming into this center part at a 45. And then I'm gonna stay parallel to that as I work my way up. Okay, so don't be tempted to start getting lazy and end up back at horizontally. Keep it at a nice sharp angle. And again, this just means that when it grows out, it's gonna be nice and soft. It's not gonna be a hard line, okay? And with that, that means I'm not gonna come back here and foil. I'm gonna be parallel to my section, okay? Now, so this is super important. So this is a section, okay? Now I'm gonna create a subsection. So my subsection is a tiny slice. So it is a very thin slice of hair. You can see this at the most, it's gonna be 1/4 of an inch, okay? If I take this big old chunk here and I try to highlight this, what's gonna happen is when I go to put my foil down, I'm gonna leave an ugly line here with lightener if I do that. So the top might look pretty, but you see how far away it is actually from the hairline? So we want to keep it as close to the hairline as possible. So the only way we can do that so that we get a nice, close highlight is by taking a tiny subsection, okay? It also is extremely clean. So I'm not coming out here and doing this and then it's a sloppy line. It is a very clean, crisp line, okay? And the reason, again, is so that once we put our foil here, we want to get it as close to the hairline as possible. So I can literally put that right on top of there. You see how close that is to the hairline? Okay. And that's just going to make it look really natural and fresh, and it's going to last her a long time.
Miss G.
Yeah.
From here on up, I'm just going to keep going with this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Try to work it so that you're going to end up, with like a small V at the top. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to do my weaving, okay? So hold it at a 90-degree angle off the head. Don't hold it down here because you're going to pull up all this hair. Okay. We're going to hold it up here. Again, I have a nice amount of tension on that hair, and I like to do it as natural as possible. So I'm not super particular. We don't want it to look like we did it with a ruler, okay? We want it to look natural. So your weave should end up looking, there's a mixed amount, okay? You can do all different kinds of things. We can do it, you could do it super chunky, where you have a ton of hair that's highlighted, okay? You could do a whole slice without weaving at all, depending on the location. So like back here, I could do a bunch of slices, as long as it's not around the hairline where you're gonna see that big chunk. You're just adding lightness throughout the length of the hair, okay? So I'm basically doing a medium weave, okay? Getting all this out of the way. All right, now, when I take my foil, okay, shiny side needs to be facing you, okay? You want to start at the bottom of your foil about 1 inch or 2 and put the tail of your weaving comb there and flip it over. This is creating a lip, okay? And you're gonna put that here and you're gonna pull it down nice and tight. And I'm kind of pushing up with my comb and pulling down with my hair. And I'm gonna use the tension on this hair to hold this foil in place, ideally. Down for my waist, just a little bit, right there. Okay, and if we don't mess with our foil too much, it's very light, so it's gonna stay where we have it. We don't have to handle it a whole bunch. And the first thing we wanna do is put our product about halfway down the strand. I'm gonna just start here. Okay, I'm gonna put that product on there, and then my foil is gonna stay there. I don't really have to do a lot to it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and basically all I'm doing is holding that up. That's it. And I'm gonna put all my product on here, and I even do X's like this, where you can see that I'm rolling that hair onto the other side, and then I'm gonna roll it back. With the same amount of product, don't overuse your product and weigh this foil down, okay? This is a lot of product on here, so it's more than enough, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and pick up her ends, fold them in, and do the same thing. And just work that a little bit to where I know it's nice and saturated. Okay. Once I know I haven't left any hair out, then I'm gonna come back up here and I'm gonna get on that hairline. So the trick to lightener is we never want it outside of our foil. So I'm only gonna go to the very edge of this foil. I'm not getting it on her scalp. I'm not going past that foil line, okay? Again, lightener swells, so we don't need to get it on her scalp or anywhere else. Okay, now I'm gonna pick up my comb again. I'm gonna fold it in half without slapping this on the hairline. I'm just going right here. I'm gonna do it twice. Once there, and then I'm gonna grab this whole packet, but leave my lip out, okay? I'm gonna put my comb back in there and push it up so that it's nice and tight, okay? And then I fold the ends in. Again, I'm not gonna smash this. I'm gonna leave lots of room in there for that bleach to grow, okay? Now, next foil is gonna go right on top of that one. You always work from the bottom up, okay? So my next one, I can do wherever I want. I could do it here, 1 inch apart. That's just gonna give her a very subtle highlight. Or I could do 1/2 inch apart. Okay, it's entirely up to you. That's a design decision. And of course, how much time you have, you know? Because if you're gonna put 100 foils in her hair, well then you're gonna charge her for 100 foils, okay? So I'm just gonna go up about, because her hair's not super dense, that's the other thing. If she had a ton of hair like you, then you're gonna have to put 200 foils in her hair, otherwise you're never gonna see the highlights, okay? But her, I can get away. You see how I can see the foil real clearly through this subsection? So you can kind of imagine that that's gonna be blonde, then that's brown, and then my next blonde would be here right on top of that. So that's a lot of color for her because she doesn't have very dense hair.
How much would you charge
More than that, I charge for time. Okay? Because I know my speed. So I'm probably gonna charge anywhere from 50 to 75 an hour. Okay, just because you've got foil, you've got skill level, you have all your products. I'm not using Sally's lightener, I'm using top of the line lightener. Okay, I'm still gonna tone it again when I'm done with all of this. So that's where your money comes in, your money and your time, your products and your time. Okay, so again, I'm gonna come in, or weave it. Shiny side facing me, go to the bottom, flip it, put it here. Don't go past that foil line. Saturate the ends. Do your X's. Grab these ends, pull them up. And get all this hair saturated with product. Don't leave anything out because it will leave a weird spot if you do. Okay, I'm gonna come up here, I'm gonna fold this in. I'm gonna readjust this so I can get that lightener really close to the scalp. Just go right here without going over.
So this is just the lightener, this isn't like, you're gonna add another one for the color?
Yeah, we'll tone it at the bowl. So typically what we do is we'll tone at the bowl. Oh, that's the other thing. So when you fold these sides in, I'm not gonna come all the way over here and pull this hair out of place. I wanna go way on the outside and just lock it in, okay? Even over here, I'm gonna go way over here and lock it in. So don't be tempted to just come here and then pull all that hair out of place, okay? Go all the way to the end of your section, okay? And I'm gonna do 2 highlights and a slice because she wants a lot of color. So I'm gonna go ahead now, I'm gonna slice, just do a regular slice. That's just gonna add a big pop of color in there. So I'm not gonna weave anything out. And again, time is money, so you wanna start working as fast as you can.
I have this friend that was asking if she wanted me to do her highlights. She was saying if I was going to do it on a cap or oil.
We don't, I don't teach the cap. You can do a cap, but I don't teach it.
Which one do you like doing the most, like oil or cap?
Foiling. I don't do any cap in the salon. It's very rarely used anymore. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna do this whole section, come back. I'm gonna come over here, do my diagonal backs over here. And as I work, I'm increasing my lightening formula. I started with a 10 volume. By the time I get over here, I'm probably gonna do a 20. We're gonna do a 30 volume here, and then maybe even a 40 here. That way, by the time I finish this, give it about 15 minutes under the dryer and it's gonna look all even and done, okay? Okay,